Uh, Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to a technical session 1A. On behalf of ICTIS 2021 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 5th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Intelligent System through Zoom. We are thankful to everyone who present on this platform to go along with us digitally in this unpredictable circumstances of COVID-19 and making this conference more productive. Also, we wish everyone and their families to protected time, and we will together pass this soon. Hope you will enjoy the 2 days of knowledgeable and interactive sessions. Just before we get started, I would like to introduce our session chair. In this session, we have a 2-session chair. One is Prashant Dhodre. He is an associate professor at the Department of IT, JSP and Rajashai Sahu College of Engineering Experience. Also, he served a review for a various journals. And the second session chair is Pallavi Bhatnagar. He is a professor in Department of Electrical and Electronics at ICTIS University co-funded project, co-author of book Multi-Level Inverters, Convention and Emerging Topologies, Their Controls. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome. Now I would like to start the papers. Also, there's a special note for all the presenter. You will be given 8 minutes for their presentation, and on 7 minutes, I will raise the reminder for a conclude your presentation. So now I would like to call our first presenter. Tanvi Godbole, developing a framework of measuring cyber resilience behavior for Indian bank employees.
Hi, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, Tanvi.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Let me know when my slides are visible so we can start. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes.
Okay, very good morning to one and all. I hope everybody is keeping safe and taking adequate precautions in this uncertain times. Today, I'll talk about my topic, that is developing a framework to measure cyber resilience behavior of Indian bank employees. My paper ID is 177. I am a research scholar at Symbiosis Center for Research and Innovation, and this study is under guidance of my supervisor, Dr. Sekit Gojit. Coming to the topic, as we know, the cyber crimes are increasing day by day at an alarming rate, and they have propensity to impact not only an organization's reputation, but also its profitability and economic growth. Indian banks are susceptible to damaging cyber attacks, and given the banking industry, it's all the more importance to become cyber resilient because the very foundation of banking lies into nurturing trust and credibility. As per the Apex Bank of India, RBI, it has detected 50,000 plus cyber frauds in just the year 2018-19. So we can see how, with what speed the cyber crimes are increasing these days. So measures undertaken to increase the cyber resiliency are majorly focused on enhancing the security infrastructure. But what our point is, which we will talk throughout the PPT, is that unless the banking staff, the employees are trained adequately to respond in a responsible manner, they will continue to be vulnerable to a wide range of cyber attacks. Cyber attacks are inevitable, but what will matter now is how fast a bank responds to the vulnerabilities and how fast they recover from the various cyber vulnerabilities which is faced by them. Coming to what is the relevance
sorry, Tanvi, could you please press F5?
Sure. Is this better?
Yes.
All right. Coming to the relevance of this study is that banking sector, that is the Indian banking sector, today heavily depends on complex IT system to conduct the businesses. And as we know that we are going towards the online banks, we are going towards internet banking. More and more people are using internet and going towards the online banking, which is increasing the attack surface. So cyber attacks have become more pervasive and more complex, and the number of attacks have also increased. As per the previous studies conducted, they have concluded that average number of attacks at banking institutions are 4 times more than the firms operational in any other industries. So the relevance of the study to pick up the banking industry is this, that it is more vulnerable to cyber attacks given the obvious benefits of financial nature. As per the IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, cyber criminals adapt to any virtual environment very quickly, and cyber crimes today has the potential to become a macro critical economic risk for any country. So this is how cyber resiliency and banking sector gives a good connect and is relevant for today's topic. Cyber resilience also, unlike cybersecurity, is a comparatively new and growing area of research. We have seen a lot of work being done towards cybersecurity, but cyber resilience is still a very new area, and we'll talk about this in the coming slide. To understand why cyber resilience has become a pressing necessity for Indian banking sector, the next slides highlights the news articles, news clippings, which have been in highlights since 2018, 2016. So in 2016, the banking sector faced a major debit card scam. In 2018, Pune-based Cosmos Bank faced a huge cyber attack, which resulted in a loss of INR 94 crore. Then there was a cyber attack on Canara Bank, on Union Bank, and banking industry has always been a target of choice for the cyber attack, as per the Apex Bank of India, RBI. Literature review. First, I would like to highlight what is the difference between cybersecurity and cyber resilience. Cybersecurity refers to the measures implemented to protect the occurrence of cyber attack. So if I'm implementing, say, firewalls, antivirus, IDS, IPS devices, this is my attempt to prevent the cyber attack. While cyber resilience is something that is the ability of an organization to withstand the cyber attack and recover from it and go back to their day-to-day activities. So the difference is that cyber resilience recognizes the fact that security measures may not work, and it enables the organization to operate effectively and deliver intended outcome despite the adverse attacks. So we agree that cyber resiliency of an organization obviously does depends on the IT infrastructure and the cyber security measures undertaken, but a prominent factor to achieve cyber resilience depends on its employees, depends on the people who work there. Notable contribution in this area of cybersecurity and cyber resilience are given in the next slide. There was a study conducted in 2020 which related the cyber resilient behavior modeling with the human behavior. Another study was conducted to study the organization's cybersecurity readiness in an IoT framework. A study for cyber resilience was conducted in Africa in the year 2019, which was very notable. And then there were many studies conducted to highlight the challenges in privacy and security measures of Indian banking sector. So now out of all these important, so I have gone through around 200 plus papers, and these were some of the notable ones which I have displayed on this slide. And what I have seen after going through a lot of paper is that most studies which are done in this domain of cyber resiliency have mostly focused on improving the security infrastructure. Most studies in cyber domain, a cyber resilience domain, has focused on the technical issues of cyber resilience. So they have recognized resilience, cyber defense in terms of the advanced tools and techniques that leads to cyber security and resilience. However, a critical open question still remains that despite of investing so much, despite of investing heavily into cyber security measures, why even the most advanced, most tech-savvy banks of India are still not immune to cyber attacks, and still they face catastrophic results. That's why any number of security tool will not help the banking sector from cyber attacks. Rather, it is the people, it is the bank employees who can reduce the occurrence and impact, both the probability and impact of cyber attacks through their responsible behavior. Employees needs to be adequately trained and have to behave in a responsible manner and have a right mindset to operate in a cyber resilient manner. Thus, there is a need to look at cyber resilience behavior of an employee. So, and this remains briefly addressed in the current literature. So we have come up with this model, which I will display now on the slide. We believe that cyber resilient behavior is a dependent variable, which may depend, it's our hypothesis that it may depend on the 8 factors which are displayed here. Employee motivation, bank security spend, employee expertise, nature of information security training, participation in RART, that is risk assessment and risk treatment activities, compliance to security frameworks, availability and knowledge of security policies, and availability and knowledge of BCPDR. So these factors, if they are in place, we believe that they may impact for the employees to behave in a more cyber resilience manner, behave in a more cyber responsible manner. We'll quickly cover the factor definition in interest of time. Coming to the first factor, that is employee expertise. In this factor, we would relate it to the educational background. Someone from an IT and computer science and related domain will be more, have a more responsible behavior. One who has knowledge in cybersecurity, one who has a lot of experience in banking sector. Coming to the second point, that is employee motivation. The cyber resilient behavior may also depend on the job area, functional area, the seniority level, commitment towards security policies, compliance towards security policies, etc. Then another factor can be participation in risk assessment and risk treatment activities, the RART, which is an annual process carried out in banks. We believe that if employees are encouraged to participate in RART, they will have a more responsible behavior. Bank security spend on employee, and again a very important factor. Are the banks,
you have last 1 minute.
Yeah. Are the banks providing good information trainings, workshop, and are they having robust incident management tools? Are they having good mock drills or for cyber crisis situations, etc.? Banks compliance towards cybersecurity framework, that is ISO 27001, PCI DSS, that is payment card for payment card industry. Are these security frameworks being followed properly? What is the nature of information security training? Is it mandatory? Is it optional? What is the frequency of this training? How advanced is the coverage for this particular training, etc. will be gauged by this factor. Availability and knowledge of security policies. Are the security policies updated? Are the security policies adequately documented? Are they accessible, communicated properly or not? And then availability and knowledge of BCPDR plans and CCMP. This is to give more importance to cyber crisis management plans, as highlighted also by the Apex Bank of India, that is RBI. Limitations of the study will be cyber resilience in any industry is very dynamic in nature, and it dwells into technical factors which may become obsolete very soon. Banking industry is evolving rapidly, and risk factors involved may also change over the time. There is a possibility that few of the factors may not be applicable in a longer term. What is future work that is being planned is to develop a research tool to obtain data from target population and conduct a pilot study to assess this framework is my next step. And second is the focus of current study is on the commercial Indian banking sector. This can either be limited to specifically cover public or private bank, or it may be extended to other sectors like regional rural banks, small finance banks, etc. Thank you so much.
I request to our session chair, if you have any question, please ask.
Ma'am, can you go to your second slide?
Yeah.
Hello, Madam Tanvi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. I'm going to the second slide.
Yeah, please.
This one, sir?
Yes. Can you just elaborate what is cyber attack?
Yeah, so cyber attack is something which is conducted through measure of technology, and it is one key feature is that it can be conducted from anywhere in the globe. It is not dependent geographically. It is conducted by cyber criminals with motives of financial advantage. It can be a motive of harming reputation of some other firm. So these that is what a cybercrime is.
Now, when you are proposing a solution, maybe in detail in future,
Yeah.
do you have an access to the bank, or how you will be collaborating with the bank so that you'll get the retail idea and you can work on your project?
So, sir, I am also working as a financial and cybersecurity auditor with a firm, and we have many banking clients, which is why I have a keen interest towards this topic. So, I do audit a lot of private banks for the ITGC reviews.
Okay, thank you. I have done with my questions. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Tanvi, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you have given a very good, review of all the comparison between cybersecurity and cyber resilience. Are you working on any model, cyber resilience model?
Yeah, so the model which is displayed here is just a proposed one. It is my hypothesis. Now what I will do is I will collect data and see if this actually is fitting into this. So this is the next step, collecting data and working on the correctness of this model, testing of this model.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Tanvi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now I would like to call our next presenter, Mr. Chetan. Stock prediction using machine learning algorithm with a special reference to technical indicators.
Yes, ma'am. Can I audible?
Yes.
Okay. My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, it's visible. You can proceed.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Chetan Gundalia from Ganpat University, and today I'm going to present my paper. My paper title is on stock prediction using machine learning algorithms with special reference to technical indicators. If we talk about stock market, then stock market is a pillar of any country. It represents the economy of any country. And when we talk about the prediction of stock market in features, which is mainly depends on so many factors like fundamental, technical and sentiment factor and economy of the country. So when we talk about the prediction for the stock market, we have to consider each and every factor which affect the stock market. And for this paper, we have focused on a technical factor, which is dominated factor for the stock market prediction for the short time duration. And this study we have specially tested with the COVID-19 pandemic situation, that how we can predict the stock market in this unpredictable event which comes arise the all over the world. And we have tested our model on two main sector. One is related to pharma and second is related to bank sector. And in research gap, we are going to find the different ML algorithm for measuring the prediction accuracy of Indian stock market movement, especially during the time period of COVID-19 outbreak was unexplored. So our research objective is to investigate the classification accuracy by selecting the different ML algorithm by using a different technical parameter which affect the stock market, especially related to Indian stock market for the short-term market duration. So for this study, we have collect the data like OHLC data for the duration of 1st January 2018 to 13 September 2020, which will cover the mostly the first phase of the COVID-19. And for that, we have collected the OHLC data from the Yahoo Finance. So in Python, we have one library which provide the all the technical data, basic data like open, high, low, and close price of the stock with given duration. So we are using that library in our proposed work for this paper. And in framework, in first step, we are going to fetch the technical data, as I already told you, related. The next step is to pre-process the data. Means once we have technical data, the next step is if any data is missing from the data, then we have to remove the data. Remove that row from our data set, and there are so many data is provided which is not relevant to our model, like volume is not much affecting to our model. So might be we have to remove that type of features which are available in our data set. So for that, we have to pre-process our data for the better refinement of our model. So once we have pre-processed the data, the next step is feature creation. So in feature creation, we are going to create a features, technical features for this specially study. So for that, we are creating the features based on our OHLC data like open, high, and low price. So in this study, we are using 15 to 16 technical features for our proposed work, like increase and decrease volume, then moving average, then exponential moving average, then RSI, ROC, BB, etc. So these features we are going to create from the our feature set, which is we can say the main core of the any particular stocks. So once we have created the features, the next step is to feature selection. That means out of these 16 features, which features are dominated the our model. So for that, we have tested our feature selection process into three techniques. One is filter, second one is wrapper, and third one is embedded techniques. So out of these three techniques, we have found that filter method is giving a best result in our prediction accuracy, or it will give the dominant feature set which will impact our classification accuracy of that particular sectors. So in these steps, we are going to find the best feature set which are the relevance or importance of our study. So once we have find out the feature set, the next step is to normalize, or we can say standardize the data. So what happen in machine learning, if we pass the features, features are on a different dimension. For example, if we talk about the stock price, so stock price is relevant to related to stock, like if MRF stock price is relevant to 80 to 90,000, and if we talk about the price of SBI, then it is just 300 to 400 rupees. So in machine learning algorithm, what happen if we pass these features to our model without transferring or converting into same scale, then it will give the more weightage to the features which are more or which have higher value. So it might happen that some features will give the more importance than other
Dear,
features. So
dear presenter, you have last 1 minute.
okay. So for that we have to convert our feature set into normalized, or we can say standard set. The next is to use the ML algorithm to test this feature set with our result. And last, we have to predict the price based on close price. And this is the result that we have achieved from our experiment on a two sector to the specific stock of that particular sectors. And the conclusion, we have tested our model with three algorithms. First one is k nearest neighbor, second is neural network, and third one is random forest. And out of that, we have concluded that, or we have achieved a good accuracy in random forest. Out of six stocks, we have got good accuracy in five stocks. So we can say that random forest may turn out to be more robust algorithm for the stock price prediction, especially on a technical concern for the short-term duration. On limitation, we have just tested our model on a two sector to the specific stocks. One is pharma and bank sector, especially for short-term duration. So in futures, one can test it on a other sector by using a different stocks of that particular stocks. And this study is just only applicable to recent COVID-19 pandemic only. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your presentation. I have one question is, how do you understand the input of the data set during the COVID time and non-COVID time, and its impact on the machine learning algorithm that you have used?
For that, we have just tested that generally this is an unpredictable situation. So generally, the study which have investigated up to this, we have in that duration there is no type of any sudden event is arise. So we have just tested that. How this model will work on this type of situation which will not predictable. Generally, some policies like credit policy is every year event, and this type of event is not predictable. So out on that, we have tested our feature set by using different techniques, like I say filter, then wrapper, and we have tested with different feature set and found that these features is good for this duration, and these features is not good for this duration.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chetan, it was a very nice presentation from your part. I have two questions for you. My
Okay.
first question is, you have proposed ML technique for prediction, stock prediction.
Yes.
In your literature review, you might have gone through other techniques also. Can you name few techniques which are used for the prediction of, basically used for stock market prediction?
For ML based technique, yes. One is you can say decision tree, then uh, SVM,
No,
then gradient boosting.
apart from ML techniques.
Apart from ML technique, not much, madam.
Right. Okay. So my second question is, why have you chosen this specific technique for stock prediction? What were the research gaps before finalizing your technique?
So for that, ma'am, we have not just find any literature review related to this. We have just tested on these three algorithm. and we have just checked that how it happened. Then in next step, we are going to check that out of these available all the technique, which one give the better result for this. But up to this, we have not tested with the different, or we have not reviewed that type of thing in this paper.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chetan, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Now I would like to call our next presenter, Anushka Sharma, Database Management System and Efficient, Effective and Augmented Approach for Organizations.
Yes, ma'am. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Anushka Sharma.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anushka Sharma from Pandit Deendayal Energy University. Our paper ID is 272, and our title of our paper is Database Management System and Effective, Efficient, and Augmented Approach for Organization. Firstly, I would like to say that our paper is basically a compendium of all the important and discussed facts that are related to DBMS, how it emerged, how it is being used in the small offices and firms, and how it overcomes the problem that are related to unstructured data. And finally, we also built a model to cover the facts that are related to RDBMS, which is currently being used in the office. This is the table of contents. So we all know that how much data is being generated regularly from the all the firms and offices. And this data is not just used at that moment of time, but it is also used for further retrospective analysis, which helps to improve the business strategies and marketing. And if we store this data or we use this data using the conventional file system, it will become unmanageable. So this introduces the term DBMS. So firstly, what is database? It is a collection of interrelated data that can be inserted, retrieved, updated, managed, and henceforth. And database management system is basically an application that stores and manages the data. So why DBMS? It is faster, more secure, less space occupying as compared to the traditional file system. So file system here means the data that is being stored in Excel sheets or Word documents, or maybe in some handwritten documents or files, which are scattered all over different places, and which makes the correction part or updation part or searching for a specific person part a lot harder. So firstly, I will introduce the timeline. So before the database era, as we all know, the file system was used, and then hierarchical data model was introduced. Then in mid-20s, Charles Beckman, he designed the first database, which was the network data model, which was an improvised version of hierarchical database. Then in 1970s, Edgar Cord, he was working in IBM in the management sector, data management sector. So he wanted to improve his search engine, and for which he introduced relational database in which the data was stored in a tabular format. Then Peter Chan, he extended his research, and in 1976, he defined the entity relationship diagram. I will be explaining all this in the further slides. Then in 1980s, introduction of OBDBMS took place, and then present day NoSQL, which is the management of huge amount of unstructured data, is being used extensively. So now I'll discuss the advantages of file system over, DBMS over file system. So data redundancy. So this basically, we all know that if a person's information is stored at two places, and if we update it at one place and it does not get reflected in the other place, it leads to data inconsistency, which is not seen in DBMS. Also, as I've already said, data searching becomes easier in DBMS, and data isolation means the scattering of scattered data that is present in file system. Here in DBMS, it is present only at one place in a tabular format. Then data integrity, it makes sure that all the operations that takes place, that is updation, deletion, and everything, they are successful. Then data security, as we all know that today the data is of the utmost importance. So database ensures that the data is secure in every possible way, through either through login systems or through giving passwords and credentials. Yeah. Then atomicity of updates. This means that if I'm doing a transaction and at that time if there is a hardware failure or electricity cutoff, then the database management system, it makes sure that it makes sure that the data is not lost, either the transaction is done fully or none of it takes place. Then types of database models. The data, in this, the data is stored in a tree format structure. And here you can see that the top node is the root node, followed by a parent node, then child node. Here a child can have only a single parent, and hence the traversing of data becomes complex. So for that, network DBMS was introduced, which was the first system to use multi-parent structure. And this made accessing of data fairly faster and simple. But this model failed in long run due to the introduction of relational database model, and since it was much easier and flexible. Then object-oriented database model, in which information and data, they are represented by objects, which are the instances of classes. The main advantage of using object-oriented database is that it can handle complex data, and also because it uses pointer, it can do it in a very less time. But its disadvantage is that it uses some specific language of OOP, and object-oriented skills are required to do so. And converting a database to OODB is much more complicated as compared to relational database. Now, relational database, as I have already mentioned earlier, that it is in this, the data is stored in a tabular format in a form of row and columns. And this model became popular because all the advantages that I mentioned over file system, they are followed by relational database. But hierarchical, object-oriented, and network, these three database, they do not ensure the security when it comes to data manipulation. So now the case study, we worked on this case study of Study in India program, which is an office in our college, and we built a database management system for them. Since the amount was generated in a very small, was actually medium, that is in MBs or GBs, so we did not require a NoSQL database, and hence we worked on a relational database. This is an entity relationship diagram. Here you can see that all the tables, they are connected to through some relations, and hence it is a part of the relational database model. So we also built a graphical user interface, which was since those people, they didn't know how to write the SQL queries, we had to build a GUI which formed an interface between the user and the device and the SQL. So this made their work really easier. And right now they have been using this for a very long time. These are some of the GUI snippets. Then we also did this, in which we surveyed and found out that MySQL is most extensively used when it comes to database software. You can take an example of the small project that we built, and also websites and all the other major platforms, they use MySQL. Then future trends. Now, a relational database, it can only store data in a structured format, that is a table format. But what about the data which is present in a very unstructured format, or like images or videos or XML files? All these, they are a part of unstructured or semi-structured data. And for that, NoSQL, or not only SQL term, was introduced. And this makes the retrieval and storage of data much easier. And following the future trends, augmented data management, it is an integration of a database management system with AI/ML, and it is being extensively used nowadays, and is basically the future of the world's technology. And the main purpose of
dear presenter, you have last 1 minute.
Yes, okay. And the main purpose of data management, augmented data management, is to increase the number of automated tasks. And by reducing the manual tasks like writing query and everything, it gets reduced significantly. So yes, this is one of the major discoveries. So to conclude, I would say that we have to actually decide which type of database model is apt for our type of data. And for post analysis of data and retrospective analysis of data, database management system is much more dependable as compared to file system. And in the era of big data, where we have a huge amount of semi-structured and unstructured data, NoSQL comes to the rescue. And for the ease of non-technical people who don't know how to use the SQL queries and everything, their GUI can help them extensively. Thank you.
Yes, I have one question for you,
Yes.
Anushka.
Thank you for your presentation. One question is, what is augmentation and how it is different than virtual database management?
Yes, sir. Firstly, augmented data management, it is, as I've already mentioned, that it includes AI when we integrate it with database management system. So it basically helps for data analytics. While in virtual reality, as we all know, the VR models that we use, it is basically for giving us an virtual view of the environment around us. So these both these things are a little different.
Okay.
Okay, so I have one question, Anushka. You have mentioned that this scheme is for small and medium-sized database system.
Yes.
So can you share that would it be equally workable for large-size database system? This is my first question. Another question is, can you list a few limitation of your proposed system?
So firstly, I will, yeah. So firstly, this database model, it can be used in the firms and industries where the data is either low or in moderate amount, because as I've already mentioned, where there is a very large amount of data, relational database models, they can't be used. And so this is the answer for your first question. And also this same database model can be used in other firms also if we change the table names and everything. And for your second question, that is, sorry, what was your second question? I'm so sorry, I forgot.
My second question was, can you please list a few limitations of your proposed
Okay.
work?
Yes. So right now it can only store the Excel sheets and the things that are available in the document format. So we are currently working in the part where we can compress the images and store them, and images and videos. So yeah, this is the one thing that we are currently working on, and it is required by them. So this is one of the drawbacks for our model.
Okay. Thank you, Anushka, for such a nice presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now I would like to call our next presenter, Chaitra, an impact of read and transform and filtering techniques for text localization in natural scenes text images.
The screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yes, good afternoon. My topic is an impact of radon transfer and filtering technique for text localization in natural scene images. Mm. So introduction, we know that text is used to convey the lot of information and helps in understanding the content of the images. We know that picture is a worth of thousands words. With enormous growth of data in the recent times, recognizing the pattern of text is one of the challenging tasks. In our proposed method, I have used the different filtering techniques, and I found that in that random transfer is going to give the good results. So that different filtering techniques why we are used to eliminate the noise background clutters and to extract the detailed component from the sharpened image, and we found that random transfer is going to give the best results among the chosen filtering techniques, so that it is going to reduce the false positive rate. In scene text, actually in the text we have the two types of text are there, scene text and the overlay text are there. What is the scene text? Scene text is nothing but the text um, which is visible naturally. That is image that is we have taken the images which is available naturally, whereas overlay text is nothing but artificially overlaid on the image. That is the difference between the scene text and the overlay text. Compared to the overlay text, scene text is a challenging, so that we have worked on the scene text. Some of the application of the images is nothing but that is text images is nothing but knowing the environment where the text was captured, and we are using this to translate the text to the different languages and translating the text into the speech, and what is that automatic number plate recognition, a driverless car we are using for that it is useful, and traffic sign detection and detection of ID card, and as well as the video indexing as well as the searching. These are all some of the applications of the text. And what are the challenges we are facing while doing the text detection and the localization is nothing but images with a low contrast and the complex background. So that what is that image? By as a human beings, while seeing these images, we come to know where the text is existing. But for the machine, it is really very hard problem where the text is located. So this is one of the very challenging. And images with a small font size. Some of the images that is different sizes will be there and different colors will be there. So the detecting the such kinds of text is one of the challenging one. And images with a perspective distortion, that is some of the images will be in different directions. It may be the curve or semi curve or horizontal or vertical. That is also one of the challenging one. And images with a uneven illumination, that is lighting conditions. Some of the images will be taken from the dark or the light, so that time detecting the text and localizing the text is very challenging things. See here in this image, detecting and recognizing text. See in this image, we are seeing that pattern of the character. See pattern that is here. It is looking like a Z, L, and I. So that it is really very hard problem to train the machine how the machine is going to recognize these characters. So this is one of the challenging one, and this is are all previous works. And in my work I have taken the ICDA 2013 dataset, and also I worked on ICDA 2015. By this work I came to know that for ICDA 2013 it is very challenging, because most of the images were taken from the far images. So that is one of the, and here by this research I came to know that ICDA 2013 images is less complicated compared to the ICDA 15. So so this whatever the method I used for the MSCR, that is maximally stable extremal regions, it is working good for the ICDR 2013. But 15 for ICDR 2015, with some of the images, it is not giving the good results. And this is my proposed method. First, I started the data collection, that is identifying the images with the location and identifying the images with the
I think she has some network problem, so we can further move forward. And I request your session chair, if you have any question regarding this presentation, please write down on chat. Now I would like to call our next presenter, Amrish Pandey, a compact ultra wideband MIMO antenna of K and K band applications.
Hello,
Hello.
screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, okay. Very good afternoon. Myself, Amresh Pandey from University of Allahabad, Prayagraj. So my topic is a compact ultra-wideband MIMO antenna for K and K band application, and my paper ID is 355. So these outline here: abstract, keywords, introduction, evolution of design antenna, result and discussion, conclusion and references. So a two-port dumbbell shape MIMO antenna is a size of 30 by 30 and height of 1.6 mm is conceived, designed and simulated ultra-wide band. Port 1 is ultra-wideband and port 2 is wideband. They are 24.95 to 31.31 gigahertz at wideband 25.55 and 30.37 gigahertz at port 2 with impedance bandwidth 22.7% and 17.3% respectively is observed. Maximum peak gain of 8.2 dBi at port 1 and 7.9 dBi at port 2 is observed. Simulated isolation less than minus 15 dB and maximum ECC stand for envelope correlation coefficient is 0.0012 and diversity gain is achieved in the 9.97 to 9.99 is the acceptable range for the diversity gain is obtained. Antenna is suitable for K and K band application. So these keyword has been used: MIMO, defective ground structures, dumbbell shape, radiation efficiency, diversity gain, envelope correlation coefficient, isolation. So ultra wideband technology is recent time is preferred due to quality of service, high data transmission rate, and other inherent advantage. Modern 4G technology demand fast and higher data rate for transmission and reception, for which higher diversity gain is broadside direction is desirable. MIMO microstrip patch antenna system is capable to provide higher diversity gain with trade-off between reliability and data rate. Focus of research is intended to design compact MIMO microstrip patch antenna, which also provide higher isolation between the port. Many techniques are reported to reduce mutual coupling effect in MIMO microstrip patch antenna system, such as diversity technique, naturalization line, meta surface, and symmetrical design have been used to reduce mutual coupling in microstrip antenna systems. So mutual coupling between radiating element can be minimized by using defective ground structures. In ultra-wideband system operating in multi-band environment, signal fading and important parameter which can be fixed by using ultra-wideband MIMO antennas provide and improve channel capacity. Small size MIMO antenna, however, degrade the performance of antenna elements. A compact ultra-wide microstrip patch antenna with pattern diversity and band rejection characteristic is reported. For this paper, we propose dumbbell shape to MIMO patch antenna with defective ground structure on a far 4 as substrate for K and K band application is presented. Dumbbell shape MIMO antenna is designed and simulated by means of electromagnetic tools, high frequency structure simulator, also stand for HFSS version 13 by NSOFT. This tool utilizes the mathematical formulation of finite element method. Evaluation of antenna design is presented in section 2, result and discussion in section 3, and conclusion in section 4 is presented. So the evolution of proposed antenna begins with antenna 1, the path and ground structures of antenna 1 with two-port MIMO microstrip patch antenna with microstrip live feeding is presented in figure 1A and 1B respectively. Further, antenna 2 was designed with a two-port MIMO microstrip line feeding with the above same path and defective ground structure as presented in the figure 2 and 2B. Antenna 3 is proposed antenna designed with the port MIMO microstrip line feeding with the above same pass and defective ground structure as presented in figure 3A and 3B. Radiating path geometry of all three antenna is same. All these two-port MIMO antenna were designed using dielectric material epoxy FR4 with substrate height 1.6 mm and simulated with Anasoft HFC software tool. You can see this antenna one is the figure 1A. A is the upper part and B is the lower part. So A is the radiating pass and B is the ground plane. So there is the radiating two radiating dumbbell shape designed. Figure 1 is the antenna 1, figure 2 is the antenna 2. In the basic parts of antenna 1 and antenna 2 is the four rectangular cut in the ground plane, and figure 3 is the proposed antenna. So there is a one more rectangular cut in ground plane. So this is a proposed antenna designs. So A is the upper and B is the lower. So this is a geometrical parameter. So this is a length in millimeter scale. The resultant discussion, the showing of studied in expression for surface distribution, return loss, diversity gain, envelope correlation coefficient, and radiation patterns. Antenna 1 is without defective ground and its S11 behavior is shown in figure 4 and 5. We observed simulated impedance bandwidth of 16.51% and 15.66%, and resonance is 26.38 gigahertz and 26.1 gigahertz, and having peak gain minus 1.2 dBi and minus 1.45 dBi at figure 6, port 1, port 2 respectively. So impedance bandwidth, resonance peak and peak gain are presented in figure 4 and 5, and also for antenna 3 for antenna 2 impedance bandwidth 15.2%, resonance peaks 27.8%, and peak gain 9.3 dBi at port 1, whereas observed an impedance bandwidth of 7.5% at port 2 with same resonating peak and peak gain are obtained at port 1. You can see this for the parameter reflection coefficient at antenna 1, antenna 2, and antenna 3. Blue is antenna 2 and red is antenna 2, and also black is antenna 3 is and this is a gain. Gain is in proposed antenna parameter. Gain is positive gain, and this is a characteristic table for port 1 is operating band 24.95 to 31.331, and port 2 25.55 to 30.37. Both are marginal difference is having, and resonating frequency is 27.11 gigahertz and 29.54 gigahertz, and return loss minus 20.56 and 18.9. And you can see this impedance bandwidth 22.7% and 17.3%. Table 2 deficit the value of impedance bandwidth,
Dear presenter,
gain for antenna.
dear presenter, you have last 1 minute.
At port 1 and port 2 and ultra wideband having impedance bandwidth 22%. So this is isolation. Isolation is less than minus 15 dB is acceptable limit. Reflection coefficient of port 1 and port 2. S11 is we have like port 1 and S22 is port 2, and gain port 1 and port 2 are perfect here. So at port 1 is the proposed antenna. We observe the current distribution. So maximum current is 4.8 ampere per meter, and minimum current in 30.25 ampere per meter and output respectively. So
Thank you very much for your presentation. What are the limitations of your proposed or implementation?
it is applicable for short range communication and also for wireless application. My voice is audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Amrish, I have no question for you, but I have a suggestion for you. Your presentation, kindly in future use point wise presentation. It was all theory presented in your presentation. So just a suggestion, no question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Shippy Malhana. Effective use of e-tutoring system, social WhatsApp messenger on social identity development.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. My name is Sipem Shana from the southern part of Africa. I'm going to present effective use of e-tutoring system, social WhatsApp messenger on social identity development. Presentation outline or presentation overview, introduction, conceptual framework, research findings, and conclusion. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please carry on.
Okay. Introduction. In our days, mobile innovation is commonly used in online teaching in colleges, universities, primary and high school around the world, more especially in developing countries like South Africa. The use of mobile technologies is something that is just started, more especially in the lower level of primary and high school, where the students are allowed to use their phones to be innovative. It offers learners or people's decision and prospect with regards to online teaching. Online courses with mobile technologies are turning into more successful factor in learning institution, and the quantity of mobile courses are expanded. Online tutors and tutees are using mobile innovation technologies in learning institutions around the globe. Since the introduction of mobile learning in high school and primary or universities, the Department of Education came up with a plan that let's integrate the tutors and tutee to help the student to use the technology so that they'll be more able to understand what they are learning, more especially in distance learning, where most of the time the students are working on their own. without the involvement of the teacher or the lecturer. So most of the time, the students are using the technologies to communicate, the technologies to do their studies. Our research the main aim of this study is to gauge the availability of the blended modes regarding improving QT psychological and attitudinal level with regards to the introduction to programming module. The QTs and the tutor and the QTs were introduced in one of the South African university, which is only dealing with distance learning, where the first year students were struggling with the programming modules or the programming languages. So the university came up with a strategy that all the first years must be assigned to a tutor to help them to understand the concept of the programming. The tutor most of the time is someone who already passed that module or that course, so is able to transfer the knowledge to the student that just entered the university, more especially if they are starting in a distance learning, where you're supposed to find everything for yourself without the orientation, like face-to-face university, where you go through the orientation, the teacher, the lecturer will tell you what is expected from you. But in distance learning, the minute you register, everything is online, you're supposed to start. So the university realized that the students are suffering in that nature because they don't even understand the concept of programming. So they introduced the issue of a tutor. Tutor and QTs used WhatsApp as a social media to facilitate the learning of the programming module. Since the WhatsApp is also taking part is also integrated in the educational system of South Africa. So the university saw that it would be easy for the learners or the student to use WhatsApp, because each and every time they're always on WhatsApp to check, to communicate with friends, collaborate with peers. So the use of WhatsApp, it was going to be easy for them to learn. And the other thing is it eliminates the boundaries. Wherever you are, and anytime you are able to learn, you are able to communicate with your lecturer. The literature review over the past years, a high intrusion of smartphone into the market has started increasing utilization of WhatsApp Messenger. Tutors can make an educational WhatsApp group for their QT that comprise of kind of simple social network for classes. It also underpins the information sharing among tutors and QTs, empowers learning outside the classroom, and high accessibility of tutors to the QTs. It empowers a simply and fast transaction of connection to contemplate the material. So in other words, if they are using WhatsApp, which is already in their phone, they are able to communicate with their QTs, they are able to communicate with their tutors anytime when they encounter a problem, anytime when they need help, they are able to communicate with them via mobile phone, which is they already use each and every day of their life, because they check Facebook, they check WhatsApp, they check every message. So they just use the mobile phone to communicate with their tutor. The methodology, the nature of this study is exploration of the social media application to accomplish a tutoring system that assists tutor and QT in mastering introduction of programming language in an open distance learning. A quantitative research approach was selected to help in exploration of the research objectives for the data collection. And the research adopted the qualitative method because of the explorative nature and allowed the research to collect enough data for this study. This is just a conceptual framework for the study. Tutor and QT. Tutor prepare the tutoring resources, and the tutor is using the tutoring resources that were prepared by the tutor through the social networks, which is they can send a short message facility, they can use video chat facility, they can use whiteboard. So in other words, the tutor can use one of these to conduct the classes to help the QT to understand the concept of programming, more especially in the first year. when the programming, some of them is new, more especially those who are from deep rural areas where the use of technology is not familiar to them. So the minute they communicate to the tutor, they are able to understand and grab the concept, and they are able to move forward with other students. So these are just preliminary research findings. Since this is an ongoing research, for now, the research found out that the study revealed that the significant capacity these WhatsApp educational groups serve are general for educational purposes. The other outcome shows that the presence of the tutor has a positive impact on the educational WhatsApp group discussion. So in other words, when the tutor is present, the student or the tutee.
Dear presenter, you have last 1 minute.
Okay, I'm almost done. When the tutor is present, the students are able to focus to what they are doing rather than to play video games while they're supposed to start. This is the conclusion. The main objective of the study were to introduce environment where tutoring take place and explore how the use of social media tutoring platform address the academic needs of learners. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is that when we consider a bunch of students or QT, so is there any impact on their learning?
Okay, since I mentioned that this is just a research in progress, so far so good, because we started last year, 2020, it was around September, October. So as we are monitoring the progress on the learning side, we can see that the presence of tutor is helping the learners to understand the programming concept, because even now, as we are watching or monitoring the progress, we can see that the students are grasping the concept of how to program using different languages. So
Okay,
in future, maybe in future, that's when you are going to see, maybe after 2 years, when they are about to graduate, to see the outcome that indeed the presence of the tutor was effective. For now, we can see the progress, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, I have one question. A question similar to what my co-chair asked to you. Have you compared the two methods, like the offline method and the online method of teaching, based on certain parameters? Parameters related to tutor, like how he is teaching, various parameters related on the tutor side, and parameters related to tutees on their side. Have you done that comparison?
For now, no. I think that's a good question that we need to look at, so that we can come up with a concrete result at the end of the day, knowing the difference between the tutors in distance area, distance learning, and the tutors in face-to-face. For now, we're just concentrating on the distance learning, where the students are supposed to use technology, e-learning, and the m-learning.
Okay. So, okay. So one more question. Another question is, up till now, based on your research or your research work, have you you have reached any up to any conclusion of scaling offline and online teaching methodology?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part.
Okay. On the basis of your research work, which you have done up till now, can you rate the online method of teaching and offline method of teaching? Like if I say on the scale of 10, on the basis of your research, Have you reached any conclusion to rate it?
Oh, okay. I think for now it's 50-50. That's what I can say, 5. I can rate it as 5 because we are just started. So I think after maybe around towards the end of this year, that's when we'll be able to say, okay, now we are 60% based on these outcomes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Now I would like to call our next presenter.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yes,
can you
please
see my
start.
screen?
Yes, please start the presentation.
Okay, great. So my name is Timia, I'm from Serbia, and I'm presenting the word enhanced Siegel optimization algorithm adopted for artificial neural network. So artificial neural networks are from different amount of artificial neural network. Basically, it starts with the input data where we have the input layer, then we have one or more hidden layers with a specific number of hidden units which should be optimized also in the network, and the last layer represents the classification or the output layer. Usually the gradient descent is used for the back propagation, and one of the issue of the gradient descent is the vanishing the gradient. So we are proposing here meta-heuristic algorithm to do the training. In the artificial neural network training and optimization, it is necessary as there is no single solution that can be applied for all problems, and this is and it is like an NP-hard problem. So here we propose this SOA, the Siegel optimization algorithm, and it belongs to the family of swarm intelligence algorithms, and this is adopted for artificial neural network training. Siegel optimization algorithm, it is a relatively novel swarm intelligence meta-heuristic, and its name described as the inspiration of this algorithm came up from how seagulls behave in their colonies. So more precisely, by their migration and attacking or hunting the strategies. Seagulls' migration strategy is defined as a sessional transition from one place to the another place, and the reason for their migration is to find the best place with a productive food source that will keep them well during this session. So through their migration, they travel in a group, and their position is constructed in that way to avoid possible collision with each other. While in the group, seagulls often travel toward the best or the fittest, healthiest, strongest one. So based on the location of the fittest seagulls, others can converge toward him and update their current location. On the other hand, while they are in the process of migration, they are attacking other birds over the sea, and during their attack, they create a spiral shape movement in order to most effectively attack their prey. Looking at these behaviors of the Siegel optimization algorithm is formulated. So it's worth mentioning that the Siegel optimization algorithm showed good results on global bound constraint optimization problems. And by that, there is an assumption that it will perform well in a variety of real-world problems as proposed in this paper, in our paper. However, notwithstanding that the basic Siegel optimization algorithm obtains significant results for standard unconstrained benchmarks, by performing additional experiments for the purpose of this research with the test suite, it was observed that the convergence speed could be enhanced. So after we conducted all this research with the unconstrained benchmark functions, then we have seen that the convergence speed can be enhanced. Then we added additional mechanisms to the algorithm, namely the opposition-based learning mechanism to the Siegel optimization algorithm. So according to the previous research, it was shown that the opposition-based learning mechanism can substantially enhance the intensification as well as the diversification. And these two phases, the intensification and the diversification, are the main phases in any meta-heuristics algorithm. One is to research globally the search space, and the another one is to intensify about around the best solution in the search space. So it's also called exploration and exploitation. Here you can see the algorithm. First, we have the input, the population of the seagulls, and the output will be the optimal search agent. First, we are initializing all parameters, and in the iteration, we are calculating the, the fitness of each individuals, and we are updating the position, and also we are implementing here this OBL procedure, the OBL mechanism, and in each iteration, the best solution is selected, and it will end when the max iteration is reached. For the experiments, 10 frequently used binary datasets were utilized to test the performance of the approach that we proposed in this paper, and every dataset that was used in the conducted experiment was normalized to speed up the learning process by scaling the values between the range 0 and 1. Throughout the conducted experiment, 2/3 of the dataset were used for training, and the remaining 1/3 was used for testing purposes. The performance of the proposed enhanced Siegel optimization algorithm approach were validated by utilizing the following metrics. So we used the mean accuracy, the best accuracy, and the standard deviation, and also we conducted the experiment in 30 independent runs to obtain fair statistical results. And the obtained results of the enhanced Siegel optimization algorithms was compared to the original Siegel optimization algorithm, as well as to another meta-heuristics and to the backpropagation, and 7 other modern commonly used approaches. That is the artificial algorithm, particle swarm optimization algorithm, whale optimization algorithm, cuckoo search, gray wolf optimization algorithm, and Firefly. The simulation setup in each run we executed in 250 iterations, and the population consisted of 40 solutions. And you will see in the next slide, the table will summarize the established result of the proposed enhanced search optimization algorithm, and it also compares with the another algorithms that I just mentioned. It's closed for some reason. Okay. And in the table that you will see, the best result for each data set is marked bold, while the best result for each meta-heuristics are summarized at the end of the table. So here you can see the table with all data sets. So the data set was the Australian blood, breast cancer, chest, diabetes, ionosphere, liver, Parkinson, tic-tac-toe, and the vertebral data sets. These are all with different sizes. And the metrics, as I mentioned, the best accuracy, the mean accuracy, and the standard deviation. And here you can see the comparison of the different methods. The artificial algae algorithm first, then the particle swarm optimization, whale optimization algorithm, the beta algorithm, cuckoo search, gray wolf optimization algorithm, Firefly, then backpropagation. Then the last before the last one is the Siegel optimization algorithm.
Dear presenter, actually your slide is not visible.
Let me share it again. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so here are the data sets I mentioned, the metrics that we used, and also the comparison of the different algorithms. These are binary classification data sets, and the data sets are with different sizes, and the last column shows our approach, the enhanced Siegel optimization algorithm. And these results that are bolded are the best results. So you can see the summary at the end of the table, the total best, the best accuracy, the mean accuracy, and the standard deviation. In case of the artificial algae algorithm, we had only 2. There was none with the PSO and the WOA, and the bot has 4 best with the standard deviation, while cuckoo search is one with best accuracy. The gray wolf optimizer had one best value with the best accuracy and one with the
Dear
mean accuracy.
presenter, could you
Yeah.
please conclude your presentation?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so and the enhanced signal optimization algorithms now approach had 8 best accuracy and 9 best mean and 1 in the standard deviation. All right, so the experimental result shows and the performed comparative analysis clearly indicate that the proposed enhanced signal optimization algorithm approach has proven to be superior over all these other data sets. And here you can see the convergence graph of the mean squared error of the signal optimization algorithm and the enhancer signal optimization algorithm. You can see it is converges much better than the original one. And so the conclusion is that the enhanced signal optimization algorithm was proposed with the objective to optimize the values of the weights and the biases during the artificial neural network training, and it outperformed all these other approaches. And also it not get stuck in the local optima while it was the case with the original one. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Any question?
Thank you for your detailed presentation. Just I would like to know what simulation tool you use for your experiments.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for the question. We use Python.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have no question.
Okay, thank you very much.
I would like to call our presenter, Chaitra.
Yes, ma'am.
Chaitra, I will give you only 2 minutes. So
Okay,
please
ma'am.
conclude. Please conclude your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Just now I was discussing about impact of radar transfer and filtering technique for text localization. These are all things we have discussed just now. And for the proposed method, I have taken the data set of ICDR 2013 and 15. And for the data pre-processing, I have worked on random filter and conservative filter, Gabor, bilateral filter, and Gaussian. Out of this filter, the random transfer has given the good results. Why random transfer is giving it? In random, density of the foreground is good, so that the text portion is getting highlighted in the random filters compared to the other filters here. And after for the pre-processing, then we have used the MSCR. MSCR is nothing but maximally stable extremal regions. As the name indicates, we are going to find the extremal regions by using the MSCR. And then we have started using the outlier elimination. For the outlier elimination, we have used the stroke width transfer as well as the geometric properties to remove the non-text regions and to extract only the text regions. And after that, we are using the text localization to localize the text. And then we have done the performance evaluation by using the precision, recall, and the F-score. This is the steps what I discussed just now. And the add-on transfer I just now told it is used to detect the lines in the images. So that here main thing is just now I told it, density of the foreground is good, so that our text portion is getting highlighted. Compared to other methods, there are some of the disadvantages is there. That are all things I included here. Consider what are the disadvantages in the Gabor filter and what are the disadvantages in bilateral filters. It is going to preserve the edges but not the gradient. So the directional change in the intensity or the color in the images will not get perfect. So that is one of the disadvantages in the Gaussian filter. We are going to lose the fine image details and contrast. And after that, maximally I used the after the pre-processing I used the maximally stable extremal regions. Here it is MSR is controlled by the single parameter which is called as the delta. Delta value, we are taking the delta value from 1 to 20. For the if the image is more complexity, we are taking the delta value less. If the image is less vice versa of that, we are taking the delta value here, which is going to range from 1 to 20 here. And for the to remove the non-text region, we are using the stroke width transfer as well as the geometric properties here. And then for the experimental results, taking the 13 and 15 ICDR data sets, and that this is one of the example how I calculated the precision, recall, and the F-score here. Here total text detected is one. Here one text is detected, that is Singapore, and one more text is a cruise is there. That text is not detected here. So total text detected is only one, and total text detected is one, and non-text detected is two here. Two text is there. So that 1 plus 2 is 3. So that 33% of precision. This is just an example how I calculated the precision, recall, and the F score. And these are all my results, what I got by using the radar transfer for the ICDR 2013 dataset and for the ICDR 2000. Here, this is the image. For this, we have localized the text here. New traffic, that is green bounding box is there. This is how we are going to localize the text. Similarly, for this image, I am going to localize the text here. This is a very complicated image for the ICDR 2000. See here, we have the bounding box for the before also, and this platform also we got the bounding box here. And for this remaining whatever the conservative filter or the Gabber filter, see the bounding box we are getting.
Chaitra, could you please conclude? We have limited time, please.
Okay, ma'am. These are all the things, and this is all the comparison results. After comparing the results, my results, I got the precision, recall, and F score as this much. And this is my conclusion. Syntax localization, it is a difficult process since we don't know a prior understanding of where is the location of the text and what is the size of the text, direction, and the layout and color of the text also we don't know. So in this work we have proposed the random transfer and explored the different filtering technique, and we came to know that random transfer is going to give the best results compared to the other filtering techniques. And what is the scopes and the limitations means it can't detect all the presence in the dense image. I already told that for ICDR 2015 it is not going to give the best results because most of the images they are taken from the far images. So for that we have planned to use the next work on the deep learning. These are all references. Thank you.
Thank you, Chitra, for your presentation. I have only one question is, you have considered English text. Do you also have considered other text like regional language text or what?
No, sir. Actually, I plan to consider the Kannada text, sir. At present, I worked on only English text, sir. Still, many works are pending on English text, sir. Curved text and vertical text and moving text. I'm planning to work next work on video also, sir. Still more work is there in the video also, sir. Next work I plan for video also, sir.
Okay, thank you. Best luck.
Okay, okay, thank you, sir.
Chatra, I have one question. You have given the outcomes in terms of three parameters, R call and F score. Can you please specify the importance of these three factors in detail?
So, ma'am, precision, recall, and F score is mainly used to how much percentage I have detected the text and how much percentage the non-text detected. And sometimes sometimes in the image text will be not there, but it looks like a text. How we are going to that evaluation that how much text is there, how much non-text is there. That are all for that purpose we are using the precision recall, that is true positive by false positive. If the text is detected and in our model if text is there, then we are calling that as a true positive, and then for similarly if the text is not there, that case we are calling that as a false positive. Like that we are going to calculate the precision, recall, and the F score. F score is the combination of both the precision and the recall, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. Jay, is the session presentation completed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it was a pleasure to see you all, and I thank all the presenters of session number 1A for joining us for the session, presenting their work. We understand that the whole cycle time for a conference is around 4 to 5 months when a person starts writing a paper, submits a paper, wait for the decision, review comments, and then again revise the paper, and then again present the paper. So it's a long cycle time, and we thank you for all that. Apart from that, my thanks are also due to Dr. Pallavi Bhatnagar and Dr. Prashant for chairing this valuable session. And We hope that you enjoyed the presentations, and we look forward to your support and your wishes for our upcoming editions as well. And I will request my team to just share a token of appreciation first to Dr. Prashant and then to Dr. Pallavi. I think we will be sharing this token of appreciation. This is for you, Dr. Pallavi. We'll be sharing this appreciation certificates to you on your mail
Thank you.
very, very
Thank
soon.
you so much.
And before we come to end of the session and close this session, I request everyone to on their cameras so that we can just click a snap of the session. Those presenters who are still available, can you just please ping on your cameras so that we can just click a snap? Yeah, please click a photo.
Thank you, Amit sir. It was very nice meeting you online again, and I wish you best luck for the current and upcoming editions.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant. Thank you. Thank you, and much appreciate your support for your valuable time, because I understand that sitting for continuously 2 hours and chairing a session is much difficult. Listening to all the presenters and then asking questions and concentrating continuously on a single screen, it's difficult. So thank you for that. And
Yeah,
same
it's difficult, but it's not so difficult as the task you are doing it.
no. It's never like that.
So I
Thank you
appreciate
very
your
much.
effort.
Yeah.
Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Pallavi, once again. And I think another 2 minutes we are opening. The meeting is on, and we'll be closing this meeting to start the next session here. That is session number 2A, which is scheduled at 2:30 p.m. Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yes. I think we can leave now.
Yeah, Dr. Pallavi.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And give my regards to your chancellor as well.